Welcome to Speaking of Grace, the weekly message podcast from the WholeLife Church in Orlando, Florida. We're a multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multi-generational congregation committed to our mission of loving people into a lifelong friendship with God. We are committed to our vision of being a church without walls, fully engaged in serving the people of our community. Thank you for joining us as we continue Speaking of Grace.
Good morning, family. Oh, it's good afternoon. That's right. I always come in the first service, so thank you. So, I am Angela Conceicao. Actually, in Portuguese, you would say Conceição, okay? And you can't get more Brazilian than Conceição, okay? So we kind of like gringolize it and say Conceicao, okay? And it sounds really fancy. So I am going to read today's Bible verse, and no, it's not that. Okay. All right, so it is Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. So today's topic is when being sufficient isn't enough. And I do need to share with you guys my family because I feel more at home close to my family. So I need to show them, okay, to you. All right. So we have here my French family, and French. My brother went to France when he was 14 years old to play soccer, and we went to visit them in France, and they're awesome. My mom is the one in green. I have to mention her because she will be very mad if I don't, and I forgot it last service, so I want to make sure I'm on point with that. And then I have a picture with my dad this Father's Day. Yeah. And this is my in-laws, my husband right up there, and I do consider them family because they loved me from the first day I came into that family. So I love my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Sometimes I think they love me more than they do Wagner, and I know it's not true because no. But that's how I feel sometimes, They make me feel very special. And this is, my little cell of church in my house. It's Wagner. He is my husband, my friend. Wagner is my leader, and I am happy to call him my leader, the leader of our household, because he is so loving. I can't. He's awesome, and he's an introvert. So most people don't know much about who he really is, because he will not and then I have to show him off because he is awesome. He's great. He plays the bass here at church, and I'm telling you, that guy. And we have Ethan, my baby boy, and then Amy Joy. She's going to be our little star of our story today, and she's amazing. She has taught me so much in the 19 months, she's lived that I am very thankful to her because she's what brought me here today. So, and I am going to show you, I got to read this because I cannot miss any of the words that I wrote this part. This is a never before seen take of how the WholeLife Church staff strategically gets ready for the awesome things we see happening here. And this is from when I used to work here, and although there were some team player changes, I am pretty sure that not much has changed in how fancy we do things here in church. So you will see a very, very, just watch it. Oh, I have one for Christmas. Marshmallows. Yes.
No, everything. Got everything.
Very fancy, right? Very, very fancy. It was from the church staff retreat 2 years ago. And the WholeLife Church family probably will never know how much God used them to make me feel loved, accepted, and connected in a period of my life where I was reinventing myself in everything inside of me as a mom, as a friend, and as a woman. And during my pregnancy, thank you so much, WholeLife Church, staff, and family. I used to work here as the executive assistant for a year, and oh my goodness, you guys have no idea. You know when you work for a place, you don't want to see people on Saturday or meet them at the mall, things like that? Well, it doesn't happen here, okay? Because I wanted to come to church on Saturday because I knew what this is really about. So as you know, I'm not the executive assistant anymore, and I miss it every day because I miss seeing them, you know, and it's got to be said. So let's give a round of applause to our church staff, okay? Because they're awesome. They are. And I've committed to sharing what God has been working with me on, and it is going to be a raw conversation, and I feel like it's okay because I'm with my family right here. And these conversations I've had with Wagner and with very few people. Well, the topic of our sermon, talk, conversation, I don't know, is when being sufficient isn't enough. But what is that? Let's understand a little bit more about what being sufficient is. Well, the dictionary says that it's enough to meet the needs of a situation or a proposed end. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's what we look for, to being. Being in a sufficient condition, qualified, resourceful, the ability to find a way around obstacles and create or find solutions. Reliable, the ability to show up and follow through when expected. And resilient, the ability to bounce back when things do not go your way or as planned. Well, I did not realize I had a problem with self-sufficiency until I had Amy Joy. But I just wanted to explain where this came from, because usually self-sufficient folks don't boast, or not like saying to everyone that they're self-sufficient, because it can show itself in many different ways. Well, I built this characteristic. I came to the U.S. when I was 12 years old, okay? I was born in Rio de Janeiro, am not a carioca, because if you tell someone that you're born in Angra dos Reis, which is a town this big in Rio, that you're carioca, they're like, you're not, because you were not born, capital. So I am from Rio, but was born in Angra, okay? So got to get that straight, because, So when I came here when I was 12 years old, when you are an immigrant, home will never be home anywhere else, okay? Because Brazil is not really my home anymore, because I've been living here for a really long time, but I wasn't born here either. So you have to develop a sense of self-sufficiency, because you got to be strong. And when you're 12 years old and you are afraid of getting a detention, because here's the thing, when you're like a good kid, you do one thing wrong, they will see it. Okay, and that's what happened to me. Okay, I wanted to be cool, fit in, so I got a rubber band, and they were all doing it, you guys. Everyone was doing it. The moment I just threw that, rubber band with that piece of paper, it went straight to the teacher's face. And then the first thing that came to my mind, she looked at me with those eyes, and she's like, "Not you, Angie. Not you. I can't believe it." And then I thought, okay, we're going to be deported, because they're going to call immigration. They're going to call immigration right now, and my dad will never forgive me for that, okay? I am a bad child. I failed because I was so proud of being a good kid. Not just proud, but I felt like I had to be a good kid because it's not home, it's not home. They don't really know where you're coming from. They don't know you eat rice and beans every day for dinner. They be thinking you eat mac and cheese and you don't even know what that is, okay? Yeah, isn't it true? Yeah, it's true. So you come with these topics that people are like, weird. Okay. So you try to fit in, and I remember I felt like a failure at that time. And I didn't want to complain to my parents. Did not get a detention, okay? I guess, it was good. It wasn't that bad. But not wanting to complain or trying to fit in, I developed a toxic sense of self-reliance and self-dependency because I had to survive, in that environment. And it is so hard for a kid. It is so hard to fit in. I remember it was so tough for me. So I just relied on myself, because people couldn't relate to what I was feeling. My parents were just trying to, meet ends meet and trying to give us a good education, and I better be thankful for it. And I really was, but I was self-sufficient, okay? I developed that sense. And self-sufficiency is a defense mechanism that people use to protect themselves from the fear of being abandoned or rejected. It can be hidden in statements like, oh, I got it under control, let me do it. No one does it like me. And self-sufficient individuals aren't necessarily, like I said before, proud people. Or do they boast of being independent? You just sometimes deal with it without wanting anyone to give their input, because for a period of your life, you had to get through on your own. And you kind of get used to taking care of things by yourself, okay? And so that happened to me. And then I had Ethan, my firstborn. I loved being a mom. I loved it. And I was so proud that, we clicked right off the bat. And I felt like the mom feelings. And man, I'm good at this. I'm really good at that. And I had my friends tell me that how good of a mom I was. So there you go, sense of worth, sense of, I got this under control and I'm good at that, And it was not when I found out I was pregnant with Amy Joy, had started here in church for probably a month, 2 months after I started here. I remember the first news I gave Ken was, Ken, I'm pregnant. And he's like, that's awesome. And, but I remember the first feeling, the first thought I had when I found out I was pregnant with my second child was, I'm taking away time from Ethan. And that very thought crushed me because I felt I failed again as a mom, because I was not feeling all that love, all that joy about being a mom. And it was so scary to me because I understood myself as a person as being reliable, loving, caring. My kids can rely on me. And I felt numb. I don't know if you guys ever felt that way. I'm saying, sometimes I say we, but I don't even know if you guys go through that. I did, I know. But I felt numb, where I should have been feeling happy and excited about all of that. And I couldn't forgive myself for that. And that is when I came to the realization that throughout my whole life, with that sense of having to rely on myself, I relied on my ability to generate love, to generate acceptance, to generate all the good stuff. And down deep, I thought it was really me generating all of that. And when I couldn't do it, I was like, God, what is going on? And I hid it so badly that not even Wagner knew about it, because I was so embarrassed to not feel what I was supposed to be feeling in that moment. And God started talking to me, about that. And let me just go back here. The reality, and in the Bible, don't we have some Bible characters that fell short of a few things they were really confident they were? Peter was like, Jesus, we are tight. We're going till the end. There ain't no going back, right? And Jesus was like, yeah, Peter, you have no idea of the roads your heart can take you into. You have no idea. And the moment that he let Jesus down, it was probably that same moment, the same feeling of, how come I didn't show up to what I was expected to? And what about Martha, right? Martha, resourceful Martha? Yeah, Mary's sister. She was probably the one that would always say, I got this covered. I'm the cook. Nobody can clean it like this lady right here. And then would end up at the end of the dinner feeling overwhelmed. The problem with self-sufficiency is that we don't realize that we are in that position until that aha moment where you can't generate whatever you thought you were able to generate. And that's when it was a wake-up call for me. We will fall short at some point. We will run out of good intentions sometimes. And is that where our sense of worth is? There is nothing wrong with being reliable. There's nothing wrong with being resilient, resourceful. But the problem is that all those R's I just mentioned, the problem is thinking that we're the ones that can generate that and make it our trophy. And where our sense of worth is and where the sense of other people's worth is. It was an eye-opening moment for me because I understood myself as being that person, the mom, and I didn't see myself anymore. And God spoke to me and he said, I love you. I am good. You are not good because you can do whatever you can do. But you are loved, period, okay? And I am good. So whenever we have those feelings of we're falling short of whatever it is that we're expected to be, as parents, as professionals, in the whatever field we're at, it is important for us to remember that when we feel out of resources, out of reliability, when we fall short and we don't even know who it is, when we have that sense of numbness, it is a wake-up call to what God wants to remind us, that he is the one. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or we think, according to the power that works within us. And the good news is we have a church that intentionally wants to help us into a lifelong friendship with God. This conversation that I'm having with you, I remembered 2 people in the WholeLife Church. I forgot our conversation, Ellie. I spoke with Carla Monier about this, and I spoke to Ellie Pomianowski. And if it had not been them to listen to me and hey, it's okay. It's okay to fall short sometimes. You're still loved. I would probably not have come to the realization that it was actually God telling me that. So please, if you come out of this, Saturday with one reminder, you're not alone. This is a church that intentionally, we have Stephen Ministry. We have, and it is a safe place to open up. We do not have to go through our struggles alone. That's why we have a church. And that's why we have people that intentionally want to do that. And that is so rare to find. So it's just a reminder maybe, for some people that are walking through things alone. You don't have to be alone. And if you decide to do it, alone, like not with a physical, with a person, God is there, okay? And He will listen and help us out of our humanity, okay? Because it is what it is. We will fall short. Now, I'm going to do a little exercise with you guys. I am a teacher. I am an ESL teacher, and I teach women online to speak English, Brazilian women. I work with women only online. And so we do a little exercise, okay? Some people do call it prayer. And what it is, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And you're just going to listen, because sometimes we just need to listen, okay, to what God is talking to us. He definitely is talking to me about this. Don't try to put no inputs. Just listen and accept it, okay? And it's going to be also the lyrics of the song we're going to be singing in a few minutes. And repetition is a strategy of learning, okay? So we're going to just close your eyes and listen. I loved what Stanton did last Saturday with the song going over the songs. Goes like this. Through your story is my fingerprint. In the valley, there is confidence. In the shadow, I will be your strength. One thing's for sure. I am your Lord. Yes, I am. I am. Through the chaos, I will be your joy. When you're finished, I have so much more. In the waiting, child, I am the open door. Stand still and know I am your Lord. There will be times when you're up and times when you're down. That's life. I'm never too far. Just look around and you'll find me. Just look around church. You'll find me through those eyes. I am good. I'm by your side. I have arms open wide. You are loved. Oh, I am good. You are loved. Oh, yes, you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. What it was and is covered by the one who was and who is. You're covered by my love. What was and is covered by the one who was and is. You're covered. I am good. I am good. You are loved. There will be times when you're up and times when you're down. It's okay. It's all right. I'm never too far. Just look around and you will find me. I'm by your side. I have arms open wide. I am good. You are loved. I am good. You are loved. I am good. I'm going to repeat it. You are loved. So no matter what comes or goes, one thing that you must know is that I am good and you are loved. You are loved. Yes, you are. You're still loved by me. No matter where we are in our walk with God, if we feel like our own sense of self has been taken from us because of our own choices, or even if you feel super confident or you feel numb, God wants us to understand and live the blessing of being taken care by a God that is sufficient, because being sufficient is not enough. He wants more. He wants us to live abundantly more than what we think or what we ask. Therefore, we need to give God that part of us that wants to take care of everything. Because after we do that, we do live the abundant life that He planned us to have.
Hi, this is Randy Magray, podcast producer and host here at WholeLife Church. Loving people into a lifelong friendship with God is our mission at the WholeLife Church, and our podcasts are designed to help facilitate conversations that help us grow together in that pursuit. Now that you've heard the message for this week, don't forget to check out the WholeLife takeaways for this message. Swipe up in today's show notes and join the conversation. Speaking of conversations, each Wednesday morning we take a closer look at the week's message. That's right, the one you just listened to. We discuss practical ways to apply spiritual lessons and ask honest questions about the issues we face as Christians, all focused through the lens of grace. Your voice is a welcomed addition to that conversation. We encourage your thoughts and your questions by sending a voicemail or text to 407-965-1607 or send an email to podcast@wholelife.church. You can find everything podcast related on our website, wholelife.church/podcast. And plan on spending every Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning with us as we bring you the WholeLife Church inspiration you love straight into your headphones. Thanks for listening and have a great week.